Hello, hello. Oh, excuse me. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Will Johnson. UniteAmericaFirst.com is the website. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for not being afraid to hit that share button. Now, of course, everything I'm going to share with you is safe for you to share. So please hit the share button. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. And if you don't like my videos, hit the dislike twice. Show me what's up. Show me what's up. Right? Yeah, hit it twice. I think it works that way. Yeah. But anyways, hey, everybody. Now, you know what? I didn't even know that there's some news that actually came out today, and it's about Joe Biden, and it's about these progressives. And I didn't even know this, but there's quite a few progressives right now that are furious with Biden. I mean, it's absolutely angry with Biden. And I'm going to share some of that with you on why they're angry with Joe Biden. Because you would think, why would progressives be angry with Joe Biden? Because he's been bowing down to the progressives ever since he walked through the White House doors. He's been bowing down to them. Because that's who Joe Biden is. That's who the Democrats are. They've been bowing down to these progressives. But before we get to that, I want to share something else with you. You remember when the Biden regime did the whole finagle, the whole, monstrosity, the ballot, when they backed out or when they evacuated Afghanistan. You remember that? Do you remember? I remember it. And I'll never forget when they brought those soldiers home and Biden was on the tarmac. He was looking at his watch like, how much longer do we have to be here? How much longer? How much longer is this? Is there something else we can go do right now? I got something else, somewhere else to be. And they died because of him. They died because of his poor policies. They died because of his actions. And it's been 16 months. 16 months since they pulled out. And to my understanding, there's still Americans there. So how are they fighting for Americans and wanting to pull, and put it this way. To my understanding, there's still Americans in Afghanistan, and they left the American in Russia. And in Afghanistan, there was no swap. There was no swap. They could just say, hey, give us our American people, allow them to get out. But they didn't do that. And last time I heard, I don't know if the number changed, but the last time I heard, it was over 800 American citizens left in Afghanistan. And the Biden regime says nothing about it. After 16 months, says nothing about it. But you know who does? Senator Hawley. This young man here is on fire. I wish we had more like him. I'm going to be highly disappointed the day he decides to, retire. Because we need more people like him who stands up and who tells the truth. And the Democrats, they hate to see him coming. Because he absolutely hammers them with the facts and with the truth, and they can't stand it. But listen what he says about the soldiers that were killed in Afghanistan, and what Joe Biden and the Democrats have said about it and done about it since then. I don't think my audio's coming through, is it? All right, hold on 1 second. Let me fix it here. My audio should be coming through. It's always some technical issue. But here, I know how to fix it really quick here. Give me 1 second. I do apologize for this because this is something that you really need to hear because this is really powerful. It really is. Okay, here we go. I'm going to fix it to where you can, hopefully I can just do this without jacking anything up here. All right, hold on 1 second. Let's see what we get here. This should be it. Okay, here we go.
It has now been 16 months since President Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, 16 months since Lance Corporal Schmitz from Missouri and 12 other Marines lost their lives at Abbey Gate, 16 months since hundreds of American civilians were left behind to the enemy, 16 months, no one's been fired, no one's offered answers, there's been zero accountability. And so for approximately the 200th time, we are here on the floor as I continue to fulfill my pledge to seek accountability for what happened at Abbey Gate, for the lives that were lost, including the life from my own state, Lance Corporal Schmitz, and to press for answers. It is not too much to ask that not just the families of the fallen, but that the people of this country not be lied to about what happened at Abbey Gate, and we be given the answers that the American people deserve.
We deserve to get the answers, right? We all want the answers. We all should be able to find out what exactly happened and why are they not doing anything about it? Why are they ignoring it? And again, this is something that the Democrats, now put it this way. If this was under President Trump, if this took place under President Trump, we all know good and well that they would have been completely different about it. The reaction would have been completely different. They would have been saying President Trump didn't care about these people. He didn't care about the soldiers. He didn't care about the families. Because just think about it. Again,
White House do? Well, according to the findings of this
have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. I'm sitting here going off and just talking and talking. And my producer just sent me a message saying, hey, we got a black screen. No idea what's going on. Can y'all see me now? Can y'all see me? Let me make sure here. Can y'all see me? I have no idea what that's about. Do you think it's possible that the level of censorship is just increasing? I mean, this is really bizarre. What in the world? Can y'all see me? Okay, people say I'm back. Okay, do me a favor. Hit the share button. Hit the share button on this. Let me look so I can see. Let me see. On Facebook, there's been 44 people to hit the share button on this. Hit the share button on this, please. Hit the share button. Help me break the algorithms. Let me see. Let me make sure that we're still up on Rumble here. And yep, look like we're still on Rumble. And are we even on YouTube? I'm just checking here. And are we? Yep. Okay. Yep. We're here on YouTube as well. Okay. And everybody can see me there. Okay. All right. Let me do this again. All right. So, cause I don't even know how much you saw, when did it stop or whatever, but I do apologize for it. It's out of my control, but I'm apologizing for it. I didn't do anything, but try to share information with you, but I'll take the blame for it. Okay. Listen to this. And, I've talked about it, and I don't know if y'all saw me looking at my watch here, and I was saying, what, the Biden administration, when they pulled out of Afghanistan, they had the military personnel, and if I'm not mistaken, it was 13 military personnel that lost their lives because of the Biden regime poor policies. His policy, Americans died because of something that he did. It could have been prevented. It could have been prevented, but he did not prevent it from happening. It's almost like that's what they wanted to happen. I mean, I'm just telling you, that's what it looks like. On the outside looking in, it looked like the Biden regime wanted that to happen in Afghanistan. So there's another sinister reason why Joe Biden did what he did in Afghanistan. But let me play this for you, for those of you that missed it, and for those of you that want to see it. Senator Hawley talks about it. It's been 16 months, and the Biden administration pretty much says nothing. Now, I'm going to play this again, and while I play this, I'm going to make sure that everything is up. Okay, listen to this.
It has now been 16 months since President Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, 16 months since Lance Corporal Schmitz from Missouri and 12 other Marines lost their lives at Abbey Gate, 16 months since hundreds of American civilians were left behind to the enemy, 16 months, no one's been fired, no one's offered answers, there's been zero accountability. And so for approximately the 200th time, we are here on the floor as I continue to fulfill my pledge to seek accountability for what happened at Abbey Gate, for the lives that were lost, including the life from my own state, Lance Corporal Schmitz, and to press for answers. It is not too much to ask that not just the families of the fallen, but that the people of this country not be lied to about what happened at Abbey Gate, and we be given the answers that the American people deserve.
Exactly. What is wrong with us? It's like they're blatantly just looking the other way. We have truth happening with factual stuff happening. People want answers. Can you imagine? And you know what? It might be somebody out there watching right now that knows a family member who maybe possibly directly connected to this. And you're asking questions and you want answers too. But the Biden regime says nothing. And what I was saying earlier, I don't know if y'all heard this, but the difference between Republicans and Democrats, Republicans care about America. Republicans care about the military. The Republicans care about our freedoms. The Democrats, they don't give a what about the military. They most definitely don't care about America. not when it's the land of the free, home of the brave. They can care less about America when it's like that. They want a demonic, evil nation. Look at their actions. Prove me wrong. Look at their actions. You look at everything that the Democrat Party is doing, and you tell me, what have they done that has actually put America back on top in the world? You know, kind of like it was when President Trump was in office. That's why they hated President Trump so much, because he had America on top of the world. He had America as number one. He put America first. But of course, these Democrats, they hate the whole phrase, America first. They hate it with a passion. That's why we have open borders. That's why we have high food prices. That's why we have an energy crisis. That's why they're doing everything they can to destroy this nation. Listen to what else Senator Hawley has to say about this.
Reports since then. The special IG for Afghanistan recently issued his own report, that office's own report, about the collapse of the Afghan government. And what these reports have in common is a consistent theme that commanders on the ground repeatedly warned the administration, repeatedly warned the National Security Council, repeatedly warned the State Department as early as the spring of 2021 that the security situation was deteriorating rapidly, that the Taliban was gaining ground rapidly, that there needed to be an evacuation. And yet, what did the White House do? Well, according to the findings of this report, nothing. Did they plan? No. Did they take action necessary? No. And so on August 26th, a terrorist explosion at Abbey Gate, we lose those 13 Marines, hundreds of American civilians are left behind in the botched evacuation, and here we are. And yet we're asked to act as if nothing has happened, as if we should just go on business as usual, keep the conveyor belt of nominees to this Pentagon running with no votes on this floor, no debate on this floor, just wave them through, wave regular order, move it right along, nothing to see here.
That's because the military, for the most part, has gone woke. And you know what? People used to get upset with me because I didn't go along with the whole, the QAnon thing. I mean, I've had some people, let me put it this way. I remember one time I was in Florida at an event, and I was talking to this lady, and she was coming at me and telling me about the Q stuff. And I was kind of saying, well, they said this was going to happen, this was going to happen, and this was going to happen, and this was going to happen, and none of it happened. And then she got angry with me and said, you just watch, the military's going to step in. The military's woke. And again, a lot of people, even right now, there might be some of you watching right now saying, Will, you don't understand. You don't understand. They got the dates wrong, or they just pushed it back. It's supposed to be 6 months, and then they pushed it back. That's not going to happen when you have a woke military. And Senator Howie's kind of pretty much laying it out there. Look what they did in Afghanistan. You can't tell me, out of all of the stuff that we've been seeing happening, all of the things that have gone down, the Twitter files alone show all of the corruption from the federal government. Has your Q military stepped in yet? No, it hasn't. It has not. And guess what? It's not going to. I don't want to be like, now, what they were saying in that movement, I agree with some of it. Not all of it. Some of it's kind of out there, but I agree with some of it. But the problem is, they had everybody believing it and had everybody sitting down on their hands and doing nothing. It's the exact same thing that they did in past before nations became a communist nation. They had movements just like that, telling people, stand by, don't do anything, don't worry about it, trust the plan. They were saying that back then before they became communist nations. Do you understand? Do you see the connection here? And I'm telling you, people, they would get angry with me. Well, how dare you? How dare you? And I'm like, is it a cult? Right? And then you have the liberal media. They jump all over it. So look, regardless of what you believe, they didn't do anything. Nothing of that happened. Biden is still going to his little tiny desk and signing executive orders. You understand? He went to his tiny desk today and signed a bill against the American people, against traditional marriage. But there's something about that. What I was telling y'all, the progressives are angry with that. But anyways, before we get to that, let me share this with you. let me share this with you. You know, McCarthy, I don't trust McCarthy. I call him part-time McCarthy. I call him part-time because when he gets on the camera in front of everybody, he says the things that we want to hear. But when there's no cameras around and he's doing stuff in the background, he's doing everything to help out the Democrats. I'm telling you, I've been saying this about McCarthy for a long time now. A long time. Same thing with Mitch McConnell. Same thing with Lindsey Graham. I've been saying this about them, and some people say, well, no, they're on our side. But now people are starting to see it, especially with Mitch McConnell. And what's interesting in this clip here with Laura Ingraham, McCarthy's on with her, and she calls out what the Republicans are about to do. The Republicans are about to give the keys to the kingdom to the Democrats for 10 months. So all of this stuff that they're wanting to prevent the Biden regime from doing, they're about to hand the keys to the kingdom to the Democrats so nothing will end. You think that the Republicans going in on January is going to fix something? Do you think they're going to have these hearings? No. Mitch McConnell is wanting to go along with the Democrats to make sure that they have total control, regardless of who has the gavel. Listen to this. I couldn't believe it when I first, I'm like, what? And then he's like pushing it off and blaming Mitch McConnell.
But this omnibus thing takes away your power for 10 months. You will have no effect on these critical issues. Zero.
We're 28 days away from Republicans having the gavel. We would be stronger in every negotiation. So any Republican that's out there trying to work with them is wrong.
So that
Why
includes
wouldn't you
Mitch
wait with the
McConnell?
hand
Does that
stronger?
include McConnell?
Yes. Why would you want to work on anything if we have the gavel inside Congress?
You just
we
won
have a
the
stronger.
House.
Yes. Wait till we're in charge.
You hear me saying, wait until we're in charge. But he was giving Nancy Pelosi authority over Republicans. I don't know if y'all remember that, but he allowed Nancy Pelosi to decide if Republicans can sit on a committee or not. But now they set that precedence. Now they're upset because he's going to do the same thing. But Mitch McConnell and other Republicans are wanting to give the keys to the kingdom to the Democrats for 10 months. What in the world is going on? Why did we even go through the motions to do our civic duties? Why did we even do that? If it's not gonna even mean anything. And that's why you have the Lincoln Stinking Project, all of them telling Republicans not to vote anymore. It's the Lincoln Project telling Republicans never to vote again. But they've changed, you know what I can go into the whole story about that, but the Lincoln Stinking Project, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? The Lincoln Project, they act like they call themselves Republicans and they're not. They're straight up communist Democrats trying to act like it. And they're actually telling Republicans not to vote. And now the whole thing is that they're saying that it was MAGA Republicans, and that's completely false. And if you hear anybody, I don't care who they are, going out there saying that MAGA Republicans were telling people not to get out and do your civic duty, they are lying. They have, my opinion, they have been bought off by the Lincoln Project. If they're out there saying that, and it's not true, show me one MAGA Republican that was going out there telling people not to vote. Show me one. They were telling people to vote, especially on the day of. But the Lincoln Project was telling people not to. But they have, so it seems to me that the Lincoln Project have paid these people off. And there's some people with some big names that's out there spewing that nonsense. Straight up spewing that nonsense. All right, let me play this one for you. Now, y'all know that, what's his name? Sam Bankman-Fried. It's Fried, but Sam Bankman-Fried. He's actually been arrested. And I actually talked about this a little bit. I showed last night how the FTX arena in Florida is the actual building in Florida called FTX. And it's all through this process. But no one in the media has brought that up. I don't know why. It was so bad. Like last night I talked about it and Facebook didn't really allow anybody to see that, that video, because it's making me wonder exactly how much is FTX involved in the government? How much are they involved in big tech even? Because it was talking about hundreds of billions of dollars and it's all just gone. Now listen to the reporter as Karine Jean-Pierre, sorry to say Jen Psaki because they both lie, but Karine Jean-Pierre about the money that Biden received from FTX. Is he going to give it back? Now, let me remind you of something. Because during the 2016, both, and I'm going to say it here, both President Trump and Hillary Rodham Clinton, they both received money from known Klan members. They both did. Soon as President Trump found out that he received money as a donation from the Klan member, President Trump immediately returned it. Hillary Clinton, to my understanding, kept it. There's nothing ever where she said that she returned it. Nothing, nowhere. But the most important thing about this clip is that Karine Jean-Pierre, not a single time, denies that Biden received money from Sam Bankman fraud. Not a single time does she deny it.
Will the president return that donation? Does he call on all politicians who got campaign donations that may have come from customer money to return those funds?
So look, I'm covered here by the Hatch Act, limited on what I can say, and anything that's connected to political contributions from here, I would have to refer you to the DNC.
No, she's going to have to refer you to the DNC. To the DNC. So, I mean, you had to have known that this question was going to come up at some point. And she's a part of the Democrat Party, and she uses that constantly. You know, now she may have, but I don't ever recall Jen Psaki talking about the Hatchet Act. I don't recall her saying, and I used to watch her all the time. And, you know, I would share her information just like I'm sharing here. I would share it all the time. But she always saying, well, you know, I don't have anything on that, or the Hatchet Act, I can't talk about that because, you know, it deals with campaigning, blah, 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 wah, 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 wah. These people are corrupt, they're criminals, and they're in political office, and they're making laws that affect all of us. Making laws affect all of us. Okay, so let me get to this. Where is it at? Okay. This was Joe Biden here. Joe Brandon. Sorry, Joe Brandon. He's talking about the prices are going to go down next year. And, you know, he said the prices are down. And he said that people's incomes are up. And I'm just kind of curious. Has your income gone up? I mean, I would like to know. Leave me a comment saying, yeah, Will, my income went up. I'm in the green now, or in the black would say. I don't have to worry about the price of food or anything, the price of grass, because my income has gone up to match what's happening in our economy. If that's you, please let me know in the comments. I'd like to see it. And I go through the comments. I can't reply to all of them, but a lot of times I go through the comments, and I do see your comments. I do. So when you leave me a comment, I do go and see it. Same thing on YouTube, Rumble, and even on Facebook. I go through and I thumb through it really quick, and I read a whole bunch of them. I go through it. So I do see your comments, and I always sort it by the latest one. So if you want me to see it, like after we get done here, wait till about like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then, because I go through and I see them. So if you do a comment then as well, I will see it. But listen to Biden. He's getting ready to walk out, and someone asked him about the prices going back to normal. Listen.
You say when you expect prices to get back to normal, Mr. President?
I hope by the end of next year we're much closer, but I can't make that prediction. I'm convinced they're not going to go up. I'm convinced they're going to continue from there.
He's convinced that they're not going to go up. He's convinced by this time next year. How many of you can sustain the prices of goods and services as they are right now for another full year? I mean, see, he's taken care of for the rest of his life, however long that may be. The people with him, they're taken care of. Their pockets are getting fat while the rest of us are hurting. And then I don't know if y'all remember this one here.
I think we'll see a substantial reduction in inflation in the year ahead.
It's going to take a year.
Well, I believe by the end of next year, you will see much lower inflation if there's not an unanticipated shock.
Another year. And did you see the expression? Did you see the expression on her face right here? Another year. Look at it. A year. And that goes right to my point. How many of you, because I know I can't, because you know what? Guess what? The price of eggs and milk and meat and grocery, canned goods, they're not coming down. And they're not going to come down from what I'm hearing from the economic system, right? From these economists just talking about this. They said it's going to be so bad going into next spring. It's going to be so bad that people is going to be scrambling. It's already bad. It's already bad. Look at the thievery that's happening throughout the country. People are breaking in these stores and they're stealing stuff left and right. There's some places where they're talking about locking up certain foods, and you have to go and ask someone to open it up to get it. This is the America we live in. And her expression on her face says it all. Now, Joe Brandon today, he signs a bill. And this is what the progressives are upset about. And I'm gonna have to tell you something before I play this clip. Joe Brandon, no, okay. Let me do this before I play this clip. About maybe 8 months, a year, I can't remember exactly what it was. I was dreaming and I woke up from this dream. And I've told people about this dream before. And in my dream, I was seeing the military pull up to houses, and the military would go to the door and knock on the door. And when people would open the door, the military was forcing people to come out their homes. This was in my dream. And I'm like, why am I dreaming this? They were forcing the people to come out of their homes. And then the military gave people two choices. You either come with us and we haul you off to a camp, or you can go participate in the sodomy parade that you see happening right there. This was happening in my dream. You can participate in the sodomy parade, or we'll haul you off to camp, the reindoctrination camp. And in my dream, some people were being drugged off and they were putting them on the trucks to haul them off to camp. And some people said, okay, I'll just get in and participate. And they went out there on the street and holding the flags and everything else, and they're participating in it. They were being forced to participate. That was my dream. Now, that doesn't mean, I still see them trying to push for that happening in the future, but it looked like it got diverted. And this is what I'm talking about when the progressives are highly upset with Joe Biden and his Democrats. The progressives are upset because I'm like, he signed it and they're upset. Why in the world would they be upset? Why would they be upset? Well, Joe Biden, when he signed this, information about this bill that he did for the sodomy bill came out that it only applies to states where sodomy is legal. Where they're doing the same-sex marriage. That's the only places it applied to. And I'm like, well, but wait a minute. So how did they codify this? I don't understand. Because places like California, they're not going to do away with it. The first time it happened in California, when they were voted for it in California, the entire state said no to it. The entire state said, no, we don't want it in our state. The entire state did. And then they found a liberal federal judge to say, well, the people didn't know what they were voting for, so I'm going to overrule it and say it passed. I'm not sure how that works. But no one complained about it. Well, people complained about it, of course, but no one did anything about it. There was no lawsuits come up and say, no, you can't just change the votes of the people. Isn't that unconstitutional? At least I thought it was. But you can find a judge. You don't like something, just find a judge to overturn the people's vote. That's what they did in California. But Biden signing this bill, and the bill only said that for the states that already have it in place. So the progressives were upset because they did not force their ideology onto the rest of us. So that makes it like a good thing. So, because, California, they're going to have it. It's going to remain there. But the rest of us who believes in the Bible and believe that marriage is between a man and a woman, the only two things, right? I mean, hey, don't be mad at me. That's just the way it is. things remain the way they are. So now they're highly upset because they're not going to be able to force it onto us. And I kept saying, as soon as he signed it on his little tiny desk, there's going to be lawsuits flying left and right. But because it's already, but this only applies to states that already have it, I mean, nothing's going to really change. So if you ask me, it's kind of a good thing. But listen to what he says. He's not going to mention anything about this, but he's talking about, it's really weird. He's losing his mind. He's already lost his mind, to be honest with you. He's talking about a choir, a gay choir, gay men choir singing together, something like that. It's really weird. It's just a really short clip, but I'm like, what?
Now, special thanks to our performers, Joy, Sam, and Cindy. Look, in the gay man's choir of Washington, D.C., gay men's marriage choir.
Can y'all explain to me what he's saying there? Can you translate for me? I think that's the main reason why I wanted to play this clip, because I don't know what he's saying. What is he saying? Is it a gay man's choir? I mean, why? And if it is a gay DC gay choir, can you tell me why do we need to know about it? He's thanking them. I'm wondering, I'm just kind of, you know what? Ooh, I just thought of something. I'm wondering if this is the reason why he wanted to make sure that Britney was back in the States before he signed it. Not that it made a difference. I'm just kind of curious. But if you know what he meant to say there, maybe you can send me a message and translate for me, because dude is completely off his rocker. Okay, let's get into some other more pressing news. And I should have put it in a different order. I should have put this one after when McCarthy was on. But apparently the Democrats are highly upset because McCarthy said that he's going to remove Adam Schiff for lying, blatantly lying. And y'all know Adam Schiff, they call him Pencil Neck. Adam Schiff blatantly lying about the whole, remember he read the transcript and he said he was just doing a parody. You don't do a parody because you're lying. He was saying this is what President Trump meant to say when he would not read what President Trump said. Well, President Trump meant to say this, he meant to say that, he meant to say this, and never read the transcript. He just said he meant to say this. He said he was doing a parody, lying to the people. So he should not be able to sit on any committee. And Nancy Pelosi, because she removed Republicans from different committees, McCarthy gets to do the same thing. And now these Democrats are upset. But listen to what little man says.
He also went on media and talked about how he wants to kick off members like Adam Schiff from the Intelligence Committee. So a focus on revenge, a focus on irrelevant committees.
Where's the revenge at? Right? He's saying that McCarthy is going for revenge. It has nothing to do with revenge. It has something to do with that, hey, y'all did, you know what? You set the precedence when Pelosi did it. And now, guess what? It gets to come back around. It has nothing to do with revenge. It has something to do with Pencil Neck actually lying.
Focus on irrelevant investigations does not help the American family.
Irrelevant investigations?
And so we urge that he doesn't go down these stupid, dark paths and work with Democrats.
You hear this?
Family. And so we urge that he doesn't go down these stupid, dark paths.
Go down these stupid, dark paths. What have they been?
Russia.
What have they been doing all of this time?
Russia.
I mean, what have they been doing?
Russia.
And now, see, they act like we have amnesia. We're like, we can't remember what they did the last six years. We can't remember what they did.
Russia.
What are you talking about? That's old news. And then he's talking about these lawsuits, right? Talking about these not lawsuits, but investigations. Talking about these investigations like they're not supposed to be happening, right? That's what he's talking about, referring to. I think I got that in order. Yep. He's talking about these investigations, right? But anyways, Nancy Pelosi, she's on her way out. She's been fired. I need to put that in here. You're fired. I need to get that on here, don't I?
You ain't black.
Oh, I can't. Okay. Listen to Nancy Pelosi.
Had just been sworn in as whip of the House. So it was the first
testimony I ever gave as a member of the leadership. And today, this will be the last testimony I will give as a member of the leadership.
So hopefully the door will hit her on the way out. And I'm not talking about bringing harm into her at all. I'm not saying that at all. Oh, my goodness, well said, the door hit her on the way out. See, stupid progressives, stupid Democrats, they don't understand, the whole expressions of different things. I'm not causing harm or anything. I don't want her to get hammered. Don't want her to get hammered. No. She don't need to get hammered. But she's not going to be missed. People are sick and tired of Nancy Pelosi. People are sick and tired of this tyrannical federal government. And the tyrannical federal government, they're still trying to make it to where you cannot have freedom of speech. I brought up, I really didn't even get into it that much tonight, but the whole thing with Elon Musk and Twitter, when you have the federal government censoring the American people and they can care less about it, they take an oath to defend and protect the Constitution, and they just go through the motions. They don't actually mean it, because if they did, they would be in an uproar right now about it as well. But they're not in an uproar about it because they were the ones behind it. Every single one of them, they're trying to say that this is old news, like the nut job did right there on the DNC panel, right there. When none of them say anything about the federal government censoring the American people, they're all complicit with it. They probably all had their hand in it at some point. At some point, they probably all were involved in it. And they're happy that it was taking place. Oh, did y'all hear about Michelle Obama even sending a note to Twitter? She had direct access to people in Twitter. And she also called for them to take President Trump's Twitter page down to suspend his account, permanently suspend his account. She actually sent them a message saying that. And it came out in the Twitter dumps. It came out. And none of them were talking about it. None of them say anything about it. None of them. And just like, a lot of them don't even, they're not even really talking about what's happening on our southern border. Same thing on our southern border. On December 21st, Title 42 is about to come to an end. And thousands upon thousands of people invading America right now, and the thousands of people are rushing to the border because as soon as it's lifted on the 21st, they're going to rush in. And the door's going to be wide open, and everybody's going to be like, there's nothing we can do about it. That's how the Democrats are doing. Listen to Karine Jean-Pierre as she tries to justify, the borders being wide open when it comes to Title 42. They're not going to even try to do anything about it. Listen.
So what we're doing to need to prepare, we are asking Congress, as you all know, for the resources. We've been coordinating with leaders across the Western Hemisphere. As you all know, we've reported on meetings that we've had and actions that we have taken. We've got anti-smuggling operations with Mexico, Guatemala up and running. And so that's been incredibly critical.
Now, she lies so much. I don't believe anything she just said, that they have anti-smuggling organizations going on. I don't believe anything. These people are evil. I'm sorry. Are you? These people are evil. They don't care that when it comes to children, they have other demonic things that they want with children. We know that they do. They haven't been hiding it. Let's give you one quick example, and then we'll move on. One quick example of the state of Florida. When Ron DeSantis was fighting for children and parents, they hated the fact. They were talking about, well, we're going to see if there's something that we can do to stop Ron DeSantis from allowing teachers to pervert children. Y'all remember that? And even this White House is still trying to figure out how they can target children across the country and pervert them even more. They're the ones doing it. I'm just calling it out for what it actually is. And they said, no, we need to educate children. In your perversion, they don't need to be educated. They really don't.
As well, we're working to combat misinformation from smugglers.
Oh, wait. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to stop it there again because she's talking about misinformation from smugglers. This regime is the biggest smuggler on the planet. Really. You have the White House, my opinion, and these Democrats are the biggest smugglers on the planet because they're not doing anything to prevent the drugs from coming across the border, prevent the sex trafficking of boys and girls coming across the border. They're not stopping or preventing any of it. She's lying. And she's talking about the disinformation, misinformation coming from smugglers. What smuggler is telling you something? Please, I mean, seriously. What have y'all seen a smuggler get on social media and how they're influencing people and telling people how they're bringing children and drugs across the border? Have y'all seen that? So what information is she talking about? Because I've been down to the border multiple times and none of the smugglers came up to me and told me misinformation. They don't say nothing to me. They don't want to talk to me. They don't even want to talk to the cops. So what in the world is she talking about?
As well, we're working to combat misinformation from smugglers, and as was the case before Title 42 and remain the case after it, individuals who attempt to cross the border unlawfully and don't have a legal basis to remain will be subject to removal, and we'll certainly have more in the coming days. But look, you've heard us say this before, and we put the question to Congress, and what are they going to do here?
What are they going to do here? Right? You know what they want? They want, I think if I'm not mistaken, they want $3 billion for the border. And you know what that $3 billion is for? It's not to finish the wall, which it would be a lot less than $3 billion to finish the wall. That's not what they want the $3 billion for. When she's talking about they want Republicans to jump on board with the Democrats to help resources with the border, what she leaves out is that they want people, the Republicans, to contribute so then they can have $3 billion. I could be off a couple billion here, but they want $3 billion. So then that way they can turn all of these illegals, undocumented people coming into the country as American citizens. They want to be able to give them free health care. You understand what I'm telling you? They want to be able to give them free health care. They've already taken air marshals off the airplanes that protect you and I and sent them down to the southern border. So then that way the air marshals can go pick up their prescriptions, can go pick up their laundry, can go wash and clean their toilets, clean the bathrooms, mop the floors for them. These are air marshals that have been designated to go down to the border to do dirty work. It's not for them to stop the flow of fentanyl coming to the country. That's not it at all. That is not it at all. All right, so let's go. I didn't even realize how much time has gone on this right here. This has been going on all night, but I have some stuff that I want to share with you that is just like, wow. It's just like, wow. Did I say wow already? Because it's wow. And for those of you that do know, you can connect with me on Rumble right now. I think a lot of people already started jumping over there. But for those of you that don't know, go to the Rumble link that you see right there. It's rumble.com/C for channel and Will Johnson. Or I think you can just go. I say this all the time. I think you can just go on the Rumble. I should check it out. And just type in Will Johnson and you can find it. You can find it live. Or you can, all right, maybe I need to put in the bottom down there as well. You know what? I'm going to see if I can do this real time. Can I do this real time? Will it show it for me? Let me see. All right. Look at that. Y'all see that? So if you go there, let me make it bigger. If you go there, if it's easier for you, you can go there and type, uaf.media, www.uaf.media, just like you see it there. If you go there, you can just click on the Rumble link and it'll take you directly to my channel, and subscribe while you're there, because Rumble, you get notifications, which is pretty awesome. You get notifications on Rumble. Okay, so for everybody that's still on Facebook, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. There's some people that don't want to leave Facebook, and some people don't want to leave YouTube, and I get it somewhat. But for those of you that's going to remain on Facebook, and those of you that's going to stay on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, and following the page. It really does mean a lot. Thank you so much for all the blessings. Kevin, thank you so much for that super chat. Thank you so much. And I can't see the ones for, thank you for the stars. I see a couple people did some stars on there. Thank you so much for the stars. And for everybody else that's willing to go over to Rumble to see what I have to share with you, oh my goodness, I think you're gonna like